What's up, Dupe City fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Unmagical by Dupe City Co. In today's video, we're recreating two candles with the same fragrance. The first one is Haunted Holiday, and it is also subsequently the Florida Christmas scent by the Magic Candle Company. You can get 16 ounces of this buttery gingerbread fragrance from justscent.com for just $16.95. Okay, and I know you had a mini heart attack there when you heard the price, and even though it's not a Disney scent, this scent is fantastic. I'll explain more of that later. As is customary, I must remind you that I'm in no way affiliated with Magic Candle Company, and I make no profit off any of the fragrances or candles or any product really that I recreate. I'm just here to help you help yourself and make these candles because it is truly simple, truly easy, and you're using the same fragrances that you already know and love. You know, I was explaining the channel the other day to somebody, and what they said to me was, I have no skill. I can't do this. Like, it's just really convenient for me to buy it. I don't want to make it. And before I could say anything, somebody else chimed in and said, oh no, it's really that easy. And it is that easy. It takes you 15 minutes or less. I let you know where to buy it, the exact same supplies that you need. And you're gonna love doing this so much. You could make the whole line of candles for just a fraction of what you would pay and then wait weeks upon weeks to have shipped to you. It's worth it. So give it a try. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me in the comments below. And one other thing I wanted to address before we get started just really quickly was my absence. I am not off because I want to be. Work is just extremely demanding. I do work in healthcare, as I said in other videos, and COVID and all this crap that we're going through really just makes it difficult to find time. I checked the other day, have not had a day off in over a month. Gasp, I know. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it had been that long. I'm working every day, nearly around the clock, and I'm just starting to slow down to where I can find time to continue my videos. I still have the cruise coming up. I know I promised that weeks ago. I did have to alter my days, but it is coming up in just a few weeks, so look forward to that. That's going to be a really fun time where I don't have to work, and you guys get some really awesome videos with that. With that said, give a like and subscribe to be notified every time I release new Dupe City Co. Disney DIY content, which is every few days. And be sure to check out the It's a Smell World series as well, where I make different scented Disney fun things. Let's get started making some candles. So while we're waiting on the wax to reach a temperature of 185 degrees Fahrenheit, we are going to clean out the inside and outside of our candle tins in order to remove the dirt, debris, and grime that may be left over from manufacturing. And once we've cleaned the candle tins, we are also going to clean the bottoms of the wick tabs in order to remove any grease or debris left over from manufacturing as well. It's important to clean the wick tabs because they are what hold the wick in place and secure it to the candle tin. And by making sure you have a secure hold, you really prevent floaty wick, which is a dangerous fire hazard that you really just don't want to deal with. We are going to secure the wick tab to the candle tin using these double-sided wick stickers. You just peel off one side, place it on the bottom of the wick tab, and then firmly place in the center circle of the candle tin. And you'll see here that I didn't like the placement at first. You do have enough time before the adhesive really sticks to pull back up and place down exactly where you want it. Just like this. Then you're going to firmly press in place and repeat with the other candle tin. It really is so simple. Next, we're going to place our crackling wooden wick. Now you're going to get the same crackle from this wick as you do with all of the Magic Candle Company candles as well. And the link to get this wick as well as the other supplies listed in the description box below. I have it all laid out for you, and I include sizes and quantity, etc. So we're going to take this wick and place it in the first wick tab and just place our scissors flush on the top of the candle tin like this and snip. It's that simple. We're going to take the remaining wick, place it in the other wick tab, and do the same exact thing. We're just going to snip it with the scissors and discard the remainder. We're going to size this down a little bit more in the future, but it's good for right now. So we're done. We are going to place the lids back on these two candle tins, and we're going to prepare our wax. But you have done it. This took no time at all, and you are almost ready to pour. Now that our wax has reached temperature, we're going to weigh out exactly 10 ounces of wax and then add our coloring first and then our fragrance after it's cooled to about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to place our empty pitcher on the scale. We're going to remember to tare it out. This is so that the scale reads 0 and we know we have exactly 10 ounces. Now that our wax is weighed out, I'm going to place in the thermometer so I can keep an eye on that temperature and I know when it reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit and I can add the fragrance. Until that point, I am going to work on the coloring, and the coloring can be added at any temperature. In order to make this a color that is reminiscent of gingerbread, I'm using a mixture of 4 colors. I'm using brown, red, ivory, with a little touch of black. And even though you can't see the name on this liquid coloring very well, it is the brown. It is well loved. I use it quite often. We're going to place in a drop of brown. And at first I do 1 drop of each color aside from the black. I do 1 drop of brown, red, ivory, and then I decide that it needs a little more brown to become a little darker, so I do put in a few extra drops of brown. And the liquid is Liquid Candle Dye by Candle Science. You can find that in the link below. They offer the liquid and the dye block chips. Both are good. I just find the liquid easier to work with, albeit messier. Now I thought about cutting out this next part where I just mix and test and mix and test, but I really want you to see what goes through mixing these colors if you know what you're doing. Now anybody can throw colors together, but I'm really good at getting these color combinations correct. I'm good at it because I really take my time and study it as I do it. Now you don't have to color your candles at all. That's going to save you time, that's going to save you money. And when you're mixing these, there's no specified time you have to mix it, but they are oil-based colors, so you want to mix very well and scrape the bottom of the container as you're mixing just to fully incorporate everything. We are done mixing our color and we're ready to add the fragrance, and as I stated earlier, it is buttery gingerbread from Just Scent. This is 16 ounces. It is a lot of fragrance oil. I probably won't use all of it, but I might, because even though it doesn't remind me of gingerbread or Disney, it's a great scent, and I did make a hand wash with this. It was fabulous. So I have a feeling I'm going to be using it for different things around the house, but for now, let's just use it in these candles. Now, I do want to place in 1 ounce even, exactly 1 ounce of fragrance oil. That's because we're using a 10% fragrance load. 10 ounces of wax, 1 ounce of fragrance equals a 10% fragrance load. So ultimately, each candle is going to have about 5.4 or 5.5 ounces of wax in it. And once our fragrance is in, we are going to stir this solution no less than 2 minutes. I prefer 3, but the more you stir, the better incorporated that fragrance oil is into the wax, and I feel like it gives you a better scent throw overall. Now that we're done stirring and fully incorporating our fragrance, let's go ahead and weigh out the wax tins. We're going for 5.4, 5.5 ounces in each one. So let's place our scale on a flat surface. Place the empty candle tin on top, tear it out, and then just pour. And when you're done pouring the first one, be careful. These tins do get hot. Remember, that candle wax is about 160 degrees right now. It's still hot enough to burn you. Use insulated gloves if you have to, but just carefully place it to the side. Place the other empty candle tin up there and repeat. Tear out the scale and then pour the rest of the wax in. And if you watch, you notice that I pour it over top of the wick. I season the wick, that way we get a better and more even burn. So there we have it. How easy was that? You just created 2 5.4 or 5.5 ounce candles in the Haunted Holiday and Floridian Christmas fragrance using the same exact fragrance that Magic Candle Company uses for a fraction of the cost. That's pretty awesome. What's also awesome is that buttery gingerbread fragrance from justscent.com. It is pretty fabulous. Now, again, I will talk about this here in just a few minutes. It doesn't smell like Disney, and it doesn't really even smell like gingerbread. It's just good. Basic, but good. All right, so we have one more step left. We need to use our nail pullers and trim the wicks to their appropriate size so it's not a fire hazard. This is super important. And you can get these on Amazon. That is what I did. I will link that below with the rest of the supplies that you'll need. And just a quick lineup and a snip and your candles are ready to use. So how do I really feel about this buttery gingerbread fragrance? As I said, it's good. I can't get over how good it is, but it's basic. And what I mean by it's basic is it really lacks nuances. You get like a gingerbread-ish or a spice ish fragrance, and you kind of get some buttery nuances, but as far as like being a complex fragrance, it's not. It's just good. That's why I call it basic. It definitely doesn't remind you of the Grand Floridian at Christmas time, and it also doesn't remind you of the Haunted Mansion at Christmas either. It just kind of fails in that department. So for a Disney scent, no thank you, but for a holiday scent, absolutely. So with that said, there are other fragrances out there that exist that do remind you more of the Grand Floridian at Christmas, much better than this one. The Flaming Candle has a great gingerbread fragrance. Mix that with a little vanilla and it's super, super good and more realistic. But now I'm off to create my next Dupe City Co. Disney DIY video. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to be notified every time I release new Dupe City Co. Disney DIY content, which is every few days. Thanks for watching.